Here's my personal experience with arbitrage investing. Now, you might be thinking, what is arbitrage? Now, I just recently did a video on arbitrage and how we can apply it in our investment portfolios. And even as business owners, it's so important that we use arbitrage to our advantage as business owners. You don't have to create everything. You don't have to be the person that literally designs and manufactures and packages and markets and sells and does everything. You could just arbitrage something from one market to another market. There are people that literally made millions and millions of dollars when crypto was first a popular thing. They started arbitraging it between different exchanges, different markets around the world, and they made millions off of that. And there's no reason that it can't be you. So here's my experience with arbitrage and specifically using it in investments. So if we go back to the beginning of my investment journey, I was investing into a lot of things and I was just trying things to see what I could get to work, right? I wanted something that actually worked and that was consistently producing passive income for me. So I had a couple priorities. Number one, I wanted it to not be super expensive for me to buy into these investments. So I wanted something that was fairly affordable. Right. My second criteria was that it would be passive or at least almost fully passive. So if I could potentially hire somebody to run it for me, or maybe I had just very minimal interaction with the investment, I was okay with it because I knew that I'm not doing traditional investing. I'm investing into things that are classified as alternative assets. And I knew that that would mean that I probably am going to have some sort of involvement, but I was okay with it because I was just building my portfolio and I was looking for things that I could invest into in order to generate passive income for myself. And then the third criteria that I was looking for is that it would generate risk-free, for the most part, passive income, right? So there are some risks that I'm okay with, but some risks that I'm not okay with. So I had to decide on where I was drawing that line on how risky I wanted to go. And so risk-free for me means that I invest money into it and I'm investing only money that I know I'm okay losing, right? I don't want this to be something that can put me into debt. So the real risk in that case would be going into debt. But of course, the money that I'm investing, that's just my investment capital. However, I do want to highlight one thing. Risk in general, it's such a loud word. People think about risk and they're like, wow, well, risk, it's risky. Risk is just so risky. And at the end of the day, risk, it's not positive or negative. Think about it. You have risk every single day, every single moment of your life. If you hold your breath for too long, you're at risk of running out of air and who knows what else, right? You have all these risks that we have constantly around us. If I hold my eyes open for too long, I'm at risk of my eyes drying. I might have to hydrate them, put some eye drops in, right? So there's so many things that we're always at risk of. And I want to put myself in positions where I'm at risk of making a profit. So my goal in life is to be at risk of making an enormous profit. I started thinking about it. Where could I put myself in a position that would put me at risk of being in profit? And I know it's typically not how we think about risk, but at the end of the day, we assign meaning to risk. Is it good risk? Is it bad risk? Is it likely to happen? Is it unlikely to happen? There are so many factors that you have to consider about risk. And I can make risk good if I want it to be good. So keeping that idea in mind, I started down my investment journey. I started investing into things that I believed would put me into a position where I was at risk of making a profit was greater than my risk of potentially losing. So that's how I balance out that equation and make it essentially risk-free if I'm only risking the money or the time or the effort that I'm putting into that project. So for me, that was a good deal. And that's the mindset that I went into the investment world with. Through a lot of trial and error, I started trying different things and some of them worked, some of them didn't work for me. But for the most part, I learned that I liked to leverage arbitrage opportunities. So whenever I had access to multiple markets, I was able to buy something maybe at a lower price and then resell it for a higher price, right? This is simple economics. You buy low and you sell high. Well, most of the time people don't think of it as multiple markets. They think of the same market. They're like, okay, so in this one market that I'm going to be focusing on and putting all my energy towards, I'm going to wait until the price goes down. I'm going to buy. And then once the price goes back up, I'm going to sell. Well, what if there was a secondary market? What if there was a tertiary market, right? What if there are all these other markets that you're not even thinking of? So what could we do to leverage those other markets, acquire those assets at a lower price, and resell them on this market at a higher price. Would it just be an element of convenience for people? Maybe I could even buy it on this market that's in front of me. I could buy it on the primary market, but I tell my customer, hey, don't even worry about it. You don't have to go to the market. You don't have to spend your time and your money and then trying to facilitate and manage everything. What if I found a system that could provide the convenience of that product showing up to that person's door? Could I charge a premium for that? I definitely could. Let's say that person is buying bottles of water. You could go to the store and you could buy bottles of water for, whatever water costs, $4, $5, $10. Or I could bring it to your doorstep, but I'm gonna sell you the water for $6 instead of $5. So I'm making $1 on every single purchase, plus you're just gonna cover shipping or whatever that cost is. But I'm gonna facilitate it all for you. That's arbitrage right there. I have nothing to do with the water, but I provided a layering of service onto that product. I literally created an arbitrage opportunity out of thin air. Even when there was no arbitrage opportunity, I was able to create one because I added additional value. So sometimes it's not a matter of buying low and selling high. Sometimes it's a matter of adding more value to make that product. If you see that there's competition, right? Everybody's selling water for $5. You're never gonna find it cheaper. Okay, great. That's fine. I'm just gonna add a layer of value to this transaction so that I can charge more. I'm gonna add something special to this water. Every time I deliver a case of water, I give them a teddy bear, right? Wow, they're willing to pay 10 bucks for my water instead of 5 because they're also getting a teddy bear, which maybe cost me 50 cents or $1, right? See how it's positioned differently? Now all of a sudden I'm able to sell the water at a higher price than what the market is asking for. So I literally created my own price. I exited the market and I created an arbitrage opportunity for myself. How did I do that? Well, I added value to the transaction. And so as business owners, we need to think about that. First of all, there are other markets out there. You could probably go find the water for $4 on another market and sell it for $5 on this one all day long. You could literally just do that and become a multi-millionaire. Or you could take the water that's sold on the primary market and make it more convenient for somebody, or add some sort of value to that water, or whatever product it is, right? Product or service, add some sort of value yourself, and then you're able to charge a higher price for it. And so there you go. You created arbitrage and you've created a business model out of it. There are so many business models like that, just simply based on arbitrage. And so that's my personal experience with arbitrage in investing and in business. And I hope you guys can see conceptually how it works and how potentially you could apply it to your business as well. Alrighty guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.